trying something new, bro, with our settings here, which is always a scary thing, right?
Yes. Yes, it
But
is.
first, everybody's seeing my fucking headset probably if they're
Yeah.
looking at it on the YouTubes or whatever. But Riley had took the microphone out of my Steel Series, which detaches, and I don't know where it is, and I don't want to use a
Can
snowball, so I
can
am. What's up?
can you replace it?
Yeah, I can. I'm.
Oh, what? Hold on, wait. I heard me for a second. I can hear me. It's like a light echo, but it's an echo.
Huh. Well, you're not echoing in the thing. So it might. I think it's just this controller. I think that this is the controller I was using. You were like, give it as an echo. But if you can stand it, I would rather use a mic that is close like this rather than this snowball because it picks up everything.
Right.
Except for me.
So
I'm always like low in the snowball. But anyway, this is Amber's headset, so that's why I'm, all kawaii and cute today.
I wouldn't necessarily call that cute.
Hey,
I mean, I'm just saying.
so is munching. Jeez. Sophie's munching. Right there, she's like. I gave her one of those treats that you said she didn't like, and she's like chowing down on that.
Hopefully it's not going to be distracting like it was on the Nightwish response video.
Where she was just, yeah. I rewatched the video, and it was like, at first I thought she was just kind of like cleaning herself, but then there was another part in the video to where she was like going to town and like kicking herself in the head.
Okay. Weird, but okay. Okay.
Well, if you could get down there on yourself, you might start kicking yourself in the face too.
There's that old Saturday Night Live bit about the yoga. Have you ever seen that?
I think so.
Well, Will Ferrell does yoga so that he could bend enough to pleasure himself. That's just hilarious. But that also makes people think like that down that line of thinking of like, is pleasuring yourself gay?
Well, I
Like
think it's
topping yourself off. Is topping yourself off gay? Like jerking off is not. Like you
right,
know what I
but
mean? If you jerk off someone else, maybe. But
yeah, but that same thing would apply because like you said, giving someone else a hand job is gay. Giving someone else a
no, but
blowjob is
like
gay. But
but like wanting to put a dick in your mouth, even if it's your dick,
I
like
think that's just because it's not the norm. Like if it wasn't if our hands couldn't reach down there, or we like wanted to put a dick in your hand, you know.
there's nothing in this world.
She's like, "What the fuck are y'all talking about?"
There's nothing in this world that will ever make me think putting a dick in my mouth is a good idea. Nothing. Dick in my dick in my hand, cool. Anyone else's dick, problems. But yeah, I'm gonna say I don't know.
Well,
I
I
mean,
just want to mention that we have not been live probably for 2 minutes. We're always already talking about.
no,
You
we've
know,
been live this whole time.
yeah, I know we've been live,
Since,
but
since we've been
like
talking, I mean, from the very beginning, we've been live because you didn't do the preview thing.
I did do the preview thing, but
When when I got on and we started talking about your headset, I pulled up the Twitch and we were talking about your headset on the Twitch.
yeah, that's when because pretty much when you got on, I switched it.
Okay,
But
so Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the podcast can only go up from here, so that's a positive thing, right?
I don't know because it's not like I have a whole lot to talk about. I did watch some things. I even watched a movie one day.
A movie,
Yeah, I watched a movie on Netflix.
and you didn't
So
fall asleep or nothing, huh?
I ain't fall asleep or nothing.
It just reminds me of like I don't know. For instance, it just reminds me of the whole Pulp Fiction thing. And it's like I don't be tickling or nothing. Just foot massages.
No, I think of I ain't grabbed no shoes and nothing, Jesus. That lady in the fire.
Oh,
I ain't grabbed no shoes and nothing, Jesus. I got bronchitis. Nobody got time for that.
yeah. But
That's an old one. Oh, speaking of old stuff, I saw this video. I saw this video today on Facebook, and I shared it. So if you're a Facebook friend of mine, you'll find it. They are asking this young lady about old stuff, and instead of saying she doesn't know, she just guesses. And
yeah,
like they're asking her, well, like what the yellow pages are. It's like what are the yellow pages? What's a rotary phone? Like stuff like that.
yeah.
And instead of just saying I don't know what that is, she just tried to guess, and that shit is hilarious. She just dumb. Like I mean, I get it. Like she was probably born in 2000 or something, but like the idea that that all of that stuff she tried to answer anyway is like, what are you doing? Like if you just say you don't know. Like seriously, they asked her what the yellow pages were, and she said, I can't remember whether she said it was the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution. But yeah, that's what she thought the yellow pages were. And
It's
it was just kind of downhill from there. They were asking her like it seemed like really simple stuff. I mean, but it's simple stuff to us because of course I was born in the 70s, so like speaking of that, I had a birthday a couple
it's
weeks
just
ago.
weird because there's still phone books, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Yellow Pages is now pretty much a website.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of being old, I had a birthday recently.
Mhm.
That shit was I did not have a lot of fun on my birthday. I had fun the day before.
That sometimes happens when your birthday is like on some day you're working or something, you know.
Well, no, technically my birthday was on Sunday, but I had a homegirl that I spend a lot of time with. And she's someone that I care about. And she came up. She still lives in Hampton. She still lives at home. So I didn't want to put her in a situation where she would be at my house all day or be up here in Richmond all day, then have to drive all the way back home and then go to work tomorrow. So I said, let's do this Saturday because then you have Sunday to recover and put yourself in a better position to go to work. So we went to Dave and Buster's and we had a great time at Dave and Buster's. The Dave and Buster's here, the one closest to me is relatively small. But here's the problem that I had at Dave and Buster's. First of all, it's relatively small, and like there was one part where I really wanted to play cruising. Like I really wanted to fucking play cruising, but this man and this lady just sat in the fucking cruising cabinet and was just chilling, and they didn't leave. They were just chilling, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yo, I want to play some cruising, so I ended up playing Mario Kart, and Mario Kart didn't necessarily go well for me. I did all right until the end.
And that how it, like someone was just talking about. I think it might have been Fred. That how you play Mario Kart isn't how you normally would play most racing games, because you don't want to be first early, because they're going to like freaking rubber band around you. So you want to be like fourth or fifth, and then do that. Do the rubber banding thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of like what was that game? Split Second.
They were just
Split
talking
Second.
about that too.
Split Second was a great game unless you were in first, because all of the cool shit is happening behind you.
Right,
Because
right.
you're first. So it was because Split Second and Blur came out around the same time,
Yeah.
and like we preferred Blur because Blur is basically Mario Kart with real cars, and like neon.
And Split Second was
But
the one to where you're like have all the destruction and shit, right?
yeah, it's supposedly it's like a movie set,
Yeah.
so or something like that, where there's a lot of shit going on, but most of the shit is going on behind you if you're in first place. So if you're in first place, you're just kind of fucking bored.
And also, they were trying to figure out on Fred's podcast, Gaming History X, or not gaming, gaming purist. Gaming History X is the old podcast, but that they were trying to figure out which one was Blur and which one was Split Second. To where the HUD was on the car, and that was Blur.
Yes. Yes, very much so.
Yeah. That's the one thing you don't really get these days. I mean, you get stylish HUDs to where they it's not like taking up a bunch of real estate on your screen, but you don't get where HUDs are unique into the screen. Maybe like in Hellblade, to where that her little overpower is ready when her mirror is glowing, where there's not really a HUD there, or like just certain things. But like stuff like that, I thought was really cool. And the
I think
360.
the first game that I really noticed an integrated HUD was Dead Space. Because I hated when people just kept saying, "Oh, it doesn't have a hood. It doesn't have a HUD," and I'm like, "No, it's actually integrated." And actually, somebody from the team actually like said, he's right. It's an integrated HUD. It's not HUD-less. It's an integrated HUD. Everything
Yeah,
that you're doing is on it. Everything that you need to know about your character is on your character.
because that's the one really jarring thing. You don't really see it maybe later 360, but some of those early 360 games, the HUD is like blaringly obvious. Like it's like big on the screen. You have a big A button, a big B button. You're like, man, early 360 games are kind of ugly. But then they kind of got away from that with games like Blur and Dead Space, where they tried to integrate it a little bit better. But then
And I think it only really worked for those games, though. Like it just doesn't work for everything. And then you have ones like I've been playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint you can adjust pretty much all of the elements of your HUD. You can tell it whether it's static or dynamic or just on. No, just static, dynamic, or off. Like you can completely turn your HUD off. Like it's so many like different factors that you can do.
I did that for Far Cry 2 because the game was so gritty. I was like, yeah, I don't want a reticle. I want there to be no reticle unless I'm aiming at my sights, and just have it be very little HUD and stuff, because it had that grittiness and it just felt better that way.
I am a console gamer. I need my reticle. If I'm playing something without a reticle, it's definitely something that I'm playing with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, but
Um,
if you're playing a game like that, when are you really shooting when you're not aiming down your sights anyway? I mean, you get a reticle with
well,
the red dot, right? But you won't if you're not.
Nah, I for some reason I had to, and like for like Killing Floor, it's off by default. Your reticle is off by default, and like the first thing I do when I start Killing Floor is to make sure that shit is on. I guess I'm just a console dude. Like it's not anything that I'm used to playing without. Even though I play games where you have control over it. But yeah, I I um I actually played two games I don't normally play. I played them this weekend, and I played them with Pooh Bear, and Pooh Bear played a couple of games. We had. I know I had fun. I don't know how much fun she had, but yeah, we played a couple of. We played. Well, I noticed her cyberpunk playthrough. She's not very good at first person shooters, well, shooters in general, and she's definitely not first person, and also she is not very good at RPG mechanics.
Or she could probably get better if she plays a different one in Cyberpunk. Because Cyberpunk, even though it's first person, still isn't really a first person shooter because it's
Right,
so RPG ish.
but the idea that she played through that whole game not knowing that you had things that you could use, like powers and shit like that. She
Yeah.
played that whole fucking game without using any of that because she didn't know she had it.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to play that game without my fucking those knife things out of your arms. Those like cyber swords. I hardly ever use
I
my
don't.
guns.
I didn't play the game, so I don't. I didn't play the game, so I didn't know. I don't know, but yeah, she played through the whole game without using any of that shit because she didn't know how to use it because she didn't play very many RPGs.
Right.
And then when I tried to tell her that she need to play some different stuff, she's just like, "Well, I don't want to play that because it doesn't have a story." She wants to play stuff with a story, and I was just like,
Well,
"No, you need."
every game has a story unless it's like
No, she wants story focused games. Like she plays Mass Effect, and like she plays all of the Telltale type games, and like Life is Strange and shit like that. She
well,
wants story focused.
wouldn't you say a game like BioShock is story focused,
Um,
or is it more atmosphere focused?
it's atmosphere. I would say BioShock is atmosphere because first of all, if someone is getting ready to play BioShock for the first time, what do you tell them?
Nothing.
Wear headphones.
Oh yeah.
Wear
Well, I
headphones.
didn't even think about that because I always wear headphones. But
Yeah, no. The first time someone's saying, "I'm gonna play Bioshock for the first time," motherfucker, wear headphones. Absolutely.
I know you hate this game, but man, Alan Wake is a completely different experience with headphones than without. Because when I first played it, just playing on 360 with a TV, and it was kind of an action game with some spooky. But with headphones, there's so many creaking, and like you can even hear like little voices in the background. There's so much spooky shit to where like I was like, wow, I'm a little bit spooked now, and I normally don't get that way, you know. Like it was a complete. It became a horror game versus an action thriller, you know. But
No comment.
and oh
I,
well, of course,
look,
Hellblade needs to
I
be
don't,
wear headphones
I don't want, I don't want to go off. So like, no comment. I'm gonna say no comment on anything Alan Wake related.
because he don't like good things.
I think it's better for everyone if I don't say anything pertaining to Alan Wake.
And then also, I mean, it kind of goes without saying the ultimate game to wear headphones with is Hellblade because of the how they recorded the voices and stuff with the 3D
Never got
headphone.
around to that. Never got around to that. Anyway, so oh, I talked about my birthday briefly. Let me tell you about my actual birthday.
Okay.
Everybody wanted to call me on my birthday. And after maybe the first 5 minutes, everyone who wanted to talk to me wanted to talk about them fucking selves. Every single person just talked about themselves.
Well,
Almost no.
I just made a post on Facebook like a normal person.
Yeah, but like, there's a couple of people that wanted to. There's a couple of people that I talked to. I even talked to my sister, and my sister is one of those people that if you call her or she calls you, if you don't have 3 hours, good luck, dog. So, so yeah, that happened. But yeah, I talked to a couple people, but most of the people that I talked to really wanted to talk about themselves, and I was just kind of like, yo. I really need to, like, I mean, there's already the thought in the air that I really want to go to school so I could be a therapist. But I really felt it that day because I'm like, everybody want to talk about themselves. I could have a job where I get paid to do this instead of people fucking up my birthday. You know what I mean?
Right. Unless your birthday falls upon work day and you don't take off.
Oh no, my birthday was on Sunday. I took Friday and Monday off.
Oh, you did the thing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. My birthday is my personal holiday. The only times that I don't take my birthday off is if somebody else got to it first. But I take my birthday off every year. This
Yeah,
is
these
my
people try to
holiday.
like, oh, you're adult now, birthday's over, and I'm like, no, well, maybe having a party and everyone being like, yay, happy birthday and all this stuff, that might be over, but me actually celebrating it for myself, that ain't fucking over.
I've never had my own birthday party.
Like when you're a kid or anything.
Not that I can remember.
Hmm.
I know we used to do things, because I grew up in a house. I was one of 4 kids, so
Right.
we would do things as a family, like that type of thing. But I've never had like a birthday. You know what I mean? Like I've never had a birthday. Um, I may want to do something for myself when I turn 50. I think I might want to do that. If no one wants to do it for me, then I should do it myself when I turn 50.
Well, I was about to say we need to change that
Yeah.
because
I don't think 45 is going to be enough time for me to plan the. Well, also, until recently, I've been a fucking hermit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really kind of like. I kind of stayed in the house. I kind of stayed to myself. I play my little video games. I watch my stuff on TV. I don't bother you. You don't bother me. I stay to myself. Most of my friends don't live here. So, like, I don't have to deal with anybody in person. Everybody who I deal with is through the internet in one of these apps. You know what I mean? There's very few people that actually call or text me directly. Most people just use the apps. So it was just very. I'm different, like I guess. But like lately, I've been really trying to get out of my shell. That's when I really started to hang out with my friend, because like I realized that being here being here after my breakup, and then I moved here on my own. I have literally just been surviving. I haven't been living at all. Like I'm literally just surviving. So like just to kind of make that switch up a little bit, I I started talking with a friend, and she's been a friend of mine for a long time, and we've been wanting to hang out, and I'm just kind of like, you know what, fuck it, let's just do it. And it's been really cool. It's been really cool for me. um I know it's a little bit something different for her, but you might get sex out the deal. But so, but like it's been since November 2020 for me. Um, so it's different. It's different. But like I said, I've been just living and not really. I mean, I've been surviving and not really living. So it's really just I'm trying to get out a little bit more, trying to vary things up a little bit, like you know, trying to switch up my routine some. I still don't have a whole lot of money. Like there's a lot going on with me financially. I think I'm barely making enough to survive here on my own financially, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm able to do some things outside of just being here. And that my friend and I have been doing a lot in that way, and hanging out
Going on
and
hikes?
just no, we black, we not hikers. We black, we not hikers. I did think about just taking a walk down by the river. I
That
did think of
counts.
that. That yeah, that counts. So that's cool. It's I did it once around the time when I first came up here.
Well,
And
this season
I
right
just
here, I mean, nobody. I mean, you do it because you're supposed to, and you want to stay active. But nobody really wants to do it in the summer, and you don't really want to do it in the spring because of all the allergies. You don't really want to do it in the winter because it's fucking cold. Right now, October and November is the absolute perfect time for any sort of getting out in nature or anything. For one, it's beautiful, and two, it just feels great.
and three, I'm a fall guy anyway.
Hmm.
Like I hate the summertime. Like I hate it. I'm fat. Like I sweat in places that I didn't realize that was there. There's folds and crevices and things where I don't feel comfortable in the heat. I can survive in the cold. I can survive in the cold with a light jacket and I'll be perfectly fucking fine. It'll be
Yeah,
snowing outside. Give me a light jacket and I'm perfectly fine because
that's how I am.
I have adequate padding.
I know you don't
But
do hoodies, but the everyone was like, "Aren't you cold?" I'm like, I mean, I'm just a little bit, but like, I don't want to. I would rather do my hoodie and shorts in the wintertime than get in the wintertime and get a bunch of clothes on, and then I get into a situation like if I go into a building that where they got the heat up real hot, and now I'm sweating in the freaking wintertime.
exactly, 100%. So so that describes life. Now back to me and Pooh Bear this weekend. So, like I said, I'm trying to get her onto some different things. But I figured one of the things to do is to show her something she already plays but in a new light.
Okay.
We talked about playing something, so we talked about playing Borderlands. We decided to go with Borderlands 2.
Borderlands is a good choice. I didn't really think about
Yes.
that, but that's a good between.
First person shooter. First person shooter, lots of different types of guns and stuff
It's
like
not
that.
as story
All
focused,
your
but the story that's there is really funny.
right. And then the idea that it's a first person shooter, so now she's getting her first person shooter training. It's also has RPG elements. So like that part, like there's parts of when she was playing Cyberpunk, she was just like, I'm not really doing any damage here. As yeah, because you didn't know to switch your guns to the best guns you have. Like seriously, she is a complete novice at this. I have no idea why she bought Cyberpunk to fucking begin with. She bought it when it was like the new hotness. But
But
like it was
yeah,
the new
I don't
hotness,
know
but this shit
because
was broken.
I
Yeah,
didn't know because sometimes you can hear like someone picked up Breath of the Wild because everyone and their brother said it's the most amazing thing ever, but nobody really said that about Cyberpunk. So the only people that's really playing Cyberpunk really like it, you know,
no,
really.
she bought it at launch. And
Okay.
like, because she watches a lot of people like me, she watches a lot of people play games on YouTube and stuff like that. This might have been this, before it actually came out and was broken. Cyberpunk was like, oh, this is about to be the shit.
Right, right.
And then it came out and it was just shit.
They just
Um,
they were like we have to cut some corners. We're going to cut the off of the shit. We just going to like release shit.
it
But
was like
I
that
joke because
part.
I liked it, but still.
Yeah, yeah, it's like that part at the beginning of of Borderlands 2 when you set up everything to make the sanctuary fly, and it's just like, all right, go here, do this, do this, do this, do this, and we're gonna fly or not. And that's basically Cyberpunk at launch or not. So she's getting a little bit of an education, but that wasn't what we played first. Like I said, I wanted to give her something that she plays, but in a new light. So we played Andromeda multiplayer.
Oh yeah. I was actually talking to Amber about this. I was like, man, because I was like, do you have Andromeda on PC? Because I was like, I kind of want to play some Mass Effect multiplayer, and I know that the only multiplayer that's still there's no multiplayer in the Legendary Edition. So if we played 3, it would have to be on the old version. So I was like, I think the easiest thing would be to do is Andromeda.
Yeah. So I kind of put her in, and like we were trying to I'm trying to teach her like the ins and outs of like, this is what you do when you're here. Like this is different than playing
Well,
the actual game.
speaking of that, because I was like, oh, you got to teach her about cover and stuff, but fucking Gears of War is highly story driven.
I don't know if she's ready for Gears, especially because she has nightmares. So I definitely don't want to put her in the first game.
Oh, okay, okay. I was just wondering.
I thought about
you talk about her like she's freaking 19, so like I forget that she's so young.
14.
Yeah,
She's 14. So like, and I do let her play stuff that she shouldn't probably be playing. But it's just one of those things where it's like I want her to have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to video games, and like what she has completely narrowed herself to, like, these are the games that I like to play, and I ain't doing nothing other than this. Then like she might get a spark of an idea by
so
watching
she's
someone
like
play some.
she's like playing video games like how you eat.
Yes, she plays video games like how I play video games. Like, I know what I like. I know what I like. I'm not really going beyond what I like. Even if
Now,
some new
now
hotness
you're
comes
just
out,
saying you can't really get mad at her because she's
I'm not
just.
I'm not mad at her, but like trying to.
You're trying to get her to be better than you.
Yes, but also I want her to understand what she's doing is like the it's like the Steam controller thing. Like, whoever designed this didn't have the 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 basics of video games in mind when they made this thing. How do we play video games? Why do we play video games? How have video games controlled? The language of video games was completely thrown out the window when that thing was made, and I don't want her to have
Yeah,
that
that
to
thing
where it's
is
like she
it,
it's clunky.
well, the whole thing is they wanted to make a controller that had the precision of a mouse and keyboard, and I was like, but why? The people that are wanting to play controller. The people that want the precision of a mouse and keyboard, they have something right here that that they can use. Why?
Exactly. Exactly. So that's the reason why. And but like she doesn't have that. She doesn't have that knowledge, and like she didn't. She grew up playing video games, but like she loved playing like The Sims, and used to be Minecraft stuff. I don't think she's played Minecraft in a long time, but she plays stuff like Stardew Valley and stuff like that, and it's just like, yeah. But because you only play those games and you didn't branch out and try different things, like my child, me, is not certified in Halo 1. Like that's my child, and my child is not certified in Halo 1. That's crazy to me. Like, so she doesn't have any of that under her belt. So like the language of video games is
Yeah, I was
lost
just
on
trying to
her.
think it. I was like, Halo's kind of story driven, but no, the Halo universe is story driven. The games are not.
No, no, no. But I'm just saying, like that. Like being certified in Halo 1 is like first person shooters for dummies on console. Like you have to be certified in Halo 1. It's certified for people who don't know. Certified is being able to beat the game, finish the campaign by yourself on at least normal. That's what being certified means. Being finishing a game by yourself. Like she's never played a Call of Duty. You know what I mean? So
I'll
like
say Call
when
of
we
Duties are more story driven than Halo, but you
yes.
have to. But I don't know if she's into that kind of military type stuff.
Yeah, the military stuff is probably completely over her head. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because she didn't have that, when we started playing Borderlands, the default controls are Call of Duty controls.
Yeah. So there you
And
go.
she had no idea what that means. So I couldn't even say, "Oh, it's just Call of Duty controls." She's never played Call of Duty before,
But
so I
now
couldn't even
when
say that.
if she goes to play Call of Duty, you're gonna be like, oh, it's Borderlands controls.
Pretty much. Um, so yeah, that part. Um, I so like I just tried to like I brought her in, we played the game, and we're playing, and oh my god, I hate Xbox Live party chat now. I just can't fucking stand it, especially party chat on because I had to use my phone
Mm-hmm.
because the controller that I was using, like all of my controllers, there's something wrong with, except for this one, this wired controller. But I keep this wired controller here because I use it to play Two Point Campus for all of the videos that I do on the Scarfinger Hood Rich YouTube channel. Plug. Um, so I use that controller for this, and it's a wired controller. So like if I take it downstairs, I may have some issues. I'm gonna try to get that wired controller that Blue put in the chat for us when we were talking. I think I'm gonna try to get another wired controller because my X Series S controller, my right stick drifts so bad. And there is nothing I can do to fix it. I've tried everything. I tried all of the online tricks to try to fix your fucking sticks, and that shit doesn't work.
How long
I
has
tried.
it been since you bought it? I mean, or do you not want to go through the rigmarole of their warranty stuff?
I've had it. I bought it last. Is it November or December?
Well, I've heard that Xbox warranty stuff is easier than PlayStation, so you might get a new controller out of it if it's that bad.
Hopefully. But every time I think about it, I'm at work, and the one thing that they want is the one thing I don't have when I'm at work.
The serial number.
Exactly. It's the one thing I don't have at work.
And I guess you don't think they'll bring your controller with you to work.
No, you know what I think I might do? I might take a picture of it and keep it in my phone.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's what I sometimes do with the Wi-Fi code and stuff.
Yeah, I think I might end up doing it that way so that I can try to see if there's something that I can do about it because like it started doing it like about 4 or 5 months after I got the thing. It started really doing it bad, but like I was playing the division and like I got a handle on division whether my stick is drifting or not. I can handle myself there.
Hmm.
And that was pretty much the only game that I was really playing around that time. It's just when I started to play other games, and like if I'm playing the division, the moment I let go of my controller, my camera just goes straight up, straight up. Um, if I move it a little bit, then it functions normally until I let it go. It's so fucking weird. It's very fucking weird. But yeah. So but yeah, like but so we had a good time, but like putting someone in a multiplayer situation like that for the first fucking time is different because I don't know how much multiplayer she's played in general,
Right.
but man, when I made a private match and it was just me and her. First of all, I hadn't played Andromeda in quite some time, and I was getting my ass whooped. It was like, all right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this here, and we're gonna open this bitch up. So it'd be me, you, and randoms can fucking join us. Soon as the randoms join us, then we were good. We were going through stuff, and then I was
It's
teaching her how to
the
use the
killing
store.
floor, like the killing floor days.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even though Killing Floor, depending on which character I'm using, I can get through some shit with just me and another person or me by myself. When I was really on Killing Floor every day like that. Here's the problem that I have with Killing Floor. I bought Killing Floor on disc for Xbox.
That sounds like a lot of work.
That means I have to use my Xbox One to even play it.
Oh, you can't. Oh yeah, because the S doesn't have the
The
disc
S
drive.
doesn't have a drive. And that also means that if I want to play Rock Band, I got to use my Xbox One also. Which I when I was in Dave and Buster's, they had that fucking Guitar Hero 3
Because that's the thing
machine.
that where I was like, I would go PlayStation without a disc, but I don't think I can go Xbox without a disc because backwards compatibility is kind of big for me. Like I do love throwing in the 360 game every now and again. You know what I
A
mean?
lot of those games are on Game Pass, so I'm good. You know what I mean? A lot of those games that I
Yeah, but
would
I
want
play
to
a lot
play
of random
are
games. Like like sometimes I'll be like, I kind of want to play a Level of the Darkness. That's not on Game Pass.
I I have a lot. I have a lot of 360 discs. Like I think that is what I have the most of when it comes to my games library. I it's just a ton. I have like because the 360
Do
is
you have 50
where I
Cent Blood on
stopped
the
trading.
Sand? Because that shit's
No,
expensive these days.
no, I don't have that. I do have an original Grand Theft Auto before they recalled it and took out the hot coffee. I have
Nice.
an original. No, but that was an Xbox game, right?
Well, it was both, but
I think they eventually made it over, but the one before they took hot coffee out, I think that was Xbox, right?
it would have to be.
It would have to be because around the time when I was working at GameStop is when all of that stuff was really happening.
I played
And
some
they were
Xbox.
they were replacing they were replacing a lot of those when I was working at GameStop, and I worked at GameStop for during the 360 launch, so I didn't have one yet, so it had to be an Xbox game.
Well,
But yeah, but after I worked at GameStop, I stopped trading stuff in. So like all of the stuff, like I really have still all of these discs I still have. I had a big fucking case in my living room. I just put the stuff on the case. I didn't actually put it in any kind of order. But I have the big case and it's mostly 360 games. Because when I got to the Xbox One, I really kind of started moving away from discs.
yeah, me
I have
too.
a few. I have a few, but I really started moving away from discs.
I got some discs in the beginning of that cycle, but then after that, when things started going day one digital, I was like, why wouldn't I just buy it here? The only thing I would buy on the disc if I was just happened to be at GameStop or something, and I saw like
Yeah,
Far Cry
I
4, and it was like $10, and I was
yeah.
like, oh okay.
That's that's why I have Killing Floor 2 on disc because I have Killing Floor 2 on discs because the digital version was never on sale, and I found a used copy. found a used copy, and this is after playing Killing Floor on PlayStation because it was on PlayStation Plus,
Mm-hmm.
and on PC because I got it in a humble bundle or some shit like that where it was like pennies. So I ended up still having to spend like 40 fucking dollars on Killing Floor because this shit was never on sale. I just happened to buy a used one where I saved like $5. So I didn't really do a whole lot. I saved a little bit, but I ain't do enough, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I play some more games, but we can since we're already here, let's talk games. What have you played?
Well, I've mostly been playing Spider-Man. I'm very close to the end, 90% done with the whole game, which is, everything or whatever. So, I, I mean, I played it before, but that's been like 3 years ago, so it's still kind of fresh for me. And but I haven't played the DLC. I had the DLC before as well, because then I got the package that had the DLC or whatever. But that was kind of on my backlog. But I wanted to play the main. You really should play the main game before you play the DLC or whatever, so you have powers and stuff. But I still think I'm gonna take a break before I jump into the DLC because I've been playing it for how many 34.4 hours. So yeah, I kind of want to play something else between that. But yeah, I when you were talking about the Xbox, I had got into. We've been watching a lot of Buffy and Angel. I made a playlist on my thing and put all the Buffy and Angel together to where it just plays the way it's supposed to. So that got me thinking. I was like, man, because when I was watching the Angel, I was like, Angel's kind of like a Batman type of dude. If you really think about it, why isn't
Yeah,
there like a
very kind of Batman.
why isn't there like a Angel video game or even a Buffy? And I looked it up. I was like, actually, there was a
Well,
Buffy video
those
game.
Buffy video games for the Xbox were great.
Yeah, that's what I actually been playing that, and I was like, man, this game is kind of fucking good.
They were actually really good games. I think most people didn't play it because it was Buffy. But like those were very solidly made games. Absolutely. So yeah. It's just kind of weird that those games just kind of went under the radar because at the time, I think it was two of them, right?
Yeah, there was the first one, which is actually Xbox exclusive, and then the second one is cross platform with the PlayStation. But that one's called like Blood Omen or Blood Ties or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's
I can't remember the names. I know at the time I rented them. I don't think that I actually bought them. I don't think I own. If I own one, I own one of them and not the other. But I don't think I actually own them. I have so many games. I know I have at least I know I have way over 100 discs.
and that kind of got me thinking about how it really does feel like how games feel these days, especially console games, and how they play and feel. I think a lot of that's a thing to the Xbox because if you play a PS2 game, I mean, other than how it looks, you're like, this kind of plays old. A lot of the Xbox games play like games now play. Like that played like games now play.
Very much so. Very
Other
much so.
other than jumping with the bumpers, but like I think it jumped with the bumpers mostly because a lot of games still where you're having to be a little bit speedier, you are jumping with bumpers like Dying Light and stuff.
No. Remember. The Xbox, they did not have bumpers at first. They had the black and white buttons, which were face buttons.
Oh, so that's why.
The black and white buttons turned into the bumpers.
So maybe that's why you jump with the bumpers with in that game because that was
Because they were face buttons. At first they were face buttons.
huh, yeah, I forgot about the black and white buttons.
Think Mad
The
I think
Duke.
Mad Cats is the ones that actually first started on putting those buttons as bumpers. They kept the face buttons, but the bumpers did the exact same thing.
Right,
Mad Cats did it first.
kind of like how the back pads on like a scuff controller does the same thing as the triggers or whatever, or the
Right.
buttons. But
You can program them. But if you look at a before they came out with the S controller, if you look at a Duke, you can see those black and white buttons are face buttons.
well, I was wondering, is the Duke? I mean, I guess I can easily just look it up, but is the Duke that they made the special edition controller for the Xbox One? Does that have black and white buttons or bumpers?
It does. It has black and white buttons.
Oh, okay.
I believe it has bumpers also. Well, it has buttons. They're not necessarily the same kind of bumpers, but it has like buttons where the bumpers would be.
Okay.
Because, like I said, when they redesigned the controller after like I said, Mad Cats was ahead of the game when they made those bumpers.
Yeah.
And then that's when the S controller that's when
Well,
the S controller
sometimes the
was
third
made.
party does like push the innovation, right? I mean, the whole like special edition controllers, like the what are they called? The really expensive ones, Elite or so.
You mean the elite ones? Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, all that stuff that they have is because of modders and stuff like Scuff. They wouldn't even thought to put a lot of that stuff in the controller if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, the Xbox S controller, if I'm not mistaken, they added bumpers. And then they moved the black and white buttons below because with the Duke they were kind of above. They're above the regular face buttons, but they moved them to below because they added bumpers.
Hmm. Okay. But yeah,
Well,
uh, it's pretty much been that. I played that Emily is Away game. It's kind of like
I have no idea what that is.
uh somebody sent it to me as like a gift, and they were like, "Hey, you like RPG type games? Here's something. I don't have time to play this, but I think they thought it was going to be like a long game, but it really wasn't. But it's basically like the beginnings of Facebook, and you're just being young again and going through a breakup. So it's like a story-based game, but you're like talking to somebody on Facebook. It actually starts out, oh, here it is, present day, and you're like having to scroll through your angry uncle's post, and then your drunk aunt's post, and all this stuff, and it's like okay, and then it rewinds, and this is it's basically the internet like how we remember it before everything,
Okay.
but it's weird.
Okay.
It's
I
weirdly
think
accurate.
Okay. I think the thing about it, it reminds me of the game that I played on my phone that I used to play a lot. Um,
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one with the astronaut on Mars and stuff.
oh, yeah, yeah, where you're like you're having a conversation. It's kind of like a you're not actually talking to him directly, like you're choosing from different responses or whatever, but like he's stuck, and the only person he can talk to is you. And so, like, the cool part, and I was trying to explain this to someone. Actually, I was trying to explain this to my homegirl. I don't play. I was like, I don't really play much on my phone. I
Yeah,
don't
I
play a
don't
lot of
either.
phone games, and it's like because I got these consoles here, and I got a Switch if I really want to play something mobile. But but the idea that if you're talking to him and he says, I'm going to go to sleep, I'm going to try to go to sleep for like 6 hours. And he's not going to fucking say anything for 6 hours.
Right.
Like, literally, he's not going to say anything for 6 fucking hours. Like that type of thing. She was like, so that thing didn't wake you up in the middle of the night? I was like, no, because I mean, I never have my volume on anyway.
Right.
And I think there's something where you can turn that part off, right? Like if
Yeah.
you if you know, I think there's something where you can turn that off.
Yeah.
Then when you play it again, you can do it without all of the time stuff. You just play through it straight.
Yeah. Which doesn't seem as fun, but the
No, it's
the cool thing, because when you said you picked the responses, yeah, you picked through a set of responses here too, but since it's like on the computer, you pick the response, but then you have to hit random keys to like type out the thing. So you hit the response, and you have to like and hit enter, and there's something about it. I mean, it feels like you're sitting here on the fucking messenger talking to somebody because you have to actually tactile and with the keyboard. It it is pretty cool, like psychologically, how it kind of ropes you in. But at least with me, I thought it was cool, and there's multiple endings and stuff.
okay.
But and then I played a demo of this game called Hypercharge Unboxed.
Never heard of that either.
It's like Gears Horde mode, to where you fending off monsters and stuff, and you set up traps and all this, kind of like a tower defense or whatnot. But it's either third person or first person, depending on what you want. But your toys, your action figures, and you're having to fend it off against the bad toys, and it's kind of cool because when you play through it, you get different unlocks, so you get different action figures, and you can customize them and stuff. And when you unlock different things, and you can go when you get coins and stuff from killing things, you can go find spots on the map and be like, oh, here's a gun and you just buy it with the coins, and you unlock stuff to get attachments and things. And it's co-op, so it's kind of cool. And that's the first demo I played in a long time. I was like looking through, I saw the game and I was like, oh, it's got a demo. When have I played a demo since like fucking 2006? I was like,
Right. Because really, demos these days are pretty much just betas.
right, right, or early access. Let me just
Well, early access is a different type of thing because you're actually playing the game.
yeah, but it's like here we're nowhere near finished playing this game, but we want to make money off of it right now.
Exactly. And PlayStation doesn't do that.
Right.
Xbox does. Xbox does, but PlayStation doesn't do that. Okay, so I saw two videos on YouTube. One of them I've watched. One of them I have not watched. The one that I have not watched is because you said that you were playing Spider-Man. The designer for Spider-Man 2, the up until the recent games, was the greatest Spider-Man game ever made.
Right.
He is playing the PS4, PS5 Spider-Man game for the first time.
So he can.
Is I don't know anything about it. All it says is the designer of that game is playing the 2018 game for the first time. I think that would be interesting to watch. I'm interested in shit like that. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna watch that. It's not a long.
put it in
It's
the
not,
Discord so everybody else can check it out, and I'll check it out at work as well.
okay. And then I saw this. I saw this video, and I thought of you immediately.
Okay.
The Act Man. Have you ever watched any of his videos?
Uh-uh.
He does a lot of Halo stuff. He does some other games, but he is a big Halo fan, and recently he has come out completely against Infinite. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this fucking Infinite shit. Like really, like he is like, yep, I'm fucking done with this shit.
Yeah,
I
that
can't do
shit
this no
don't.
more.
That when every time I hear about Infinite and like things that's going, it doesn't really make me mad. It just makes me sad. For, I
Yes,
mean,
Infinite is not a bad game. It just doesn't have content. Like, it doesn't have content. It doesn't have enough content, and they, instead of implementing the basics of a Halo game, they chose to implement a store.
did did
Microtransactions you to death.
did we say this on the show? But like, well, even if we did, they need whoever designs the next Halo needs to go back to being like, hey, make it doesn't have to be an old looking game or an old feeling game, but they need to think of it as a party game.
Yes, we talked about that on the show.
Okay.
But yeah, they need to think about it as a party game. This, like, the basic thing of Halo is it's a party game. You get in with your friends and you do stupid stuff. Whether you want to play in Forge and just kind of fuck around, or if you're really serious about it and you want to get into the arena and like really go at it, and like, it has everything. Well, a typical Halo game has everything that you could want out of whatever kind of situation. If you want to do firefight, you can just do firefight with your homies. Like, you know what I mean? A typical Halo game has a lot of things that you can do, and it services different types of players. Infinite just doesn't. It doesn't have any of this shit. Like, shit, they don't even have co-op in the fucking game.
Yeah,
Still,
I heard that they did.
the
I
only
heard.
way that you have co-op is if you are in the insider program. You have to opt in to co-op to test it out.
Well, I heard that they weren't even going to add that shit anymore. That they were like, yeah, we're
No,
not
no,
doing
no,
that.
no, 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 no. They cancel split screen.
Okay.
They cancel split screen, but you're still going to be able to co-op playing through the game.
I
That
mean,
that part is still coming. Forge is almost done.
I mean,
Um,
I I love the fact that you can split screen some games because it is nice. Holy shit, we don't have to have two consoles, and I can just get a buddy over here and we can play through it without having to like us both half the game or console or whatever. But I get it because having two instances of a game that looks like a modern game is hard. Have you ever played split screen on like Black Ops? Like just like the first Black Ops. When you're split screen, the game looks significantly worse.
I haven't played split screen in general in a long fucking time. I think the last time I played split screen was some time ago playing Mario Kart. That's the last split screen
What
I've
about
played.
Diablo?
Um, Diablo's not split screen. We're both on the same screen.
Well, what? Okay, well, what I kind of meant was yes, split screen, but I kind of lump local in general into split screen, even though it's not actually
Yeah,
splitting the screen.
yeah, I know
But
what you mean. Yeah. Then like a dumbass. Here's what I did like a dumbass. Last Christmas, I got my daughter a Switch. I bought a Switch off of somebody while I was in GameStop. And then she started playing my Diablo on the Switch. Because I own Diablo on the Switch.
okay,
And then I said we should play, and like a dumbass, Started the PlayStation version. Is that a bad thing?
Because you only have
Because I
one.
have a because I have a disc. I have a disc, and in order for us to keep this thing going, I would have to get another disc, or buy a digital copy for her, and then I use my disc.
I thought it was because
We don't have PlayStation Plus.
you didn't have two controllers.
No, she had her PlayStation, so we did have two controllers in that instance.
Oh, in that instance. But
In that instance, she had hers. In that instance, she had hers. But like, I should have just played the Xbox version, which I have digitally, and I game share with her. So she could have just downloaded the game, and we could have just kept the game going. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was just like, hey, I have this on PlayStation. You have your PlayStation controller. We should play this on PlayStation. And like a dumbass, I wasn't thinking.
how far did you guys get?
Not very.
I mean, you guys can just do that again. I mean, that's story based.
But playing games with her is like playing games with you. We'll sit down and we'll play a game. I have no fucking idea when we're actually going to play anything ever again. So
I'm here, and I'm down to play Aliens. I mean, I that's on my backlog. I do want to get through that. It's just that time where we did that thing like 3 times. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done for a little bit. Kind of soured the whole thing.
I just said we should have just put the shit on casual and kept it moving.
Yeah, Nemesis won't hear nothing of that. He was like, we too good for that. I'm like, I ain't too good for nothing.
He is the type of player that runs into a brick wall over and fucking over again, like hoping that the outcome is different. It's like, yo, there was this part,
He's never played Far Cry 3, huh?
That part I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
The definition of insanity.
Yes, but what there was, we have occasional time trials in the Division too.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this time trial for this mission, and we could not beat this fucking time trial. We tried everything. We tried different weapon loadouts and skill loadouts and all kinds of stuff. Like, we tried everything that we could, and we could not beat this time trial. Save our life.
Okay.
He wanted to just keep doing it over and over again. And I'm like, yo, dog, I'm tired of playing this one fucking thing over and over again. He was like, no, we gonna get it this time. He is that type of person. We gonna get it this time. No, the fuck we won't. It's literally, I literally have to say, I'm not fucking doing this again for him to stop. Because if I don't fucking say that, he is gonna keep fucking going. So he is that type. So when it comes to the aliens, we should have just put the shit on casual and said, fuck all this. After we did it twice and we got stopped in the same fucking place, we should have just said, fuck this shit.
And also, is it 3 of us? We can have 4 if Blue could get on there, But Blue don't have.
I thought it was just a 3-player game.
Oh shit! Yeah, it is.
It is 3-player.
Oh, I keep forgetting the whole fire team thing. That fire team's in the title.
Yeah, I hate the fact that you and Blue care about PC more than anything else, because like.
It's not really that I do. I mean, I care about it because I have one now, but it's just the easiest place for me to play. Like, you know what I mean? But I moved the Xbox out here, so I could have this weekend, but I just didn't want to buck the thing because I kind of acted an ass, Yeah,
you got in trouble.
But
we're not gonna say no more than that. You got in trouble.
But so
hence the bunny ears right now, while you're recording this episode.
Yeah.
For anyone who's watching on YouTube later, has on headphones with bunny ears, bright pink headphones with bunny ears.
They're cat ears, man.
Oh, cat ears. I'm sorry. All right. Bunny ears are just elongated cat ears. Like, let's be honest about this.
I thought bunny ears are dog ears that stood up straight. Well, sometimes they flop.
That's all the fucking saying to me. All the fucking saying to me, though, is animal ears. You have on pink headphones with animal ears.
Yeah.
So,
So
so
yeah,
yeah, I just, but see, here's the problem, Nicole, because he doesn't, you know what I mean? Like,
say
it's
that one
just
more time.
like,
You kind of cut out.
I say now blue is left out in the cold because we can't play the division because he doesn't have those. He doesn't have the Division 2 on Xbox. You don't have the
I thought
Division 1. You don't have 1 on Xbox.
I even went there to download the Division One. I thought I did, but I didn't. It's just that I had Division One on the PlayStation, and I have Division Two on the Xbox, and I have both on PC. But
I have I have
and I
I have
really
I
want to
have
play
both on
Division One.
Xbox. I have both on Xbox and PC, even though my PC is ass. And I have one. I think I have the gold edition of one on PlayStation.
Yeah, the whole thing about the when we played on PC, that really got me into. I mean, I was like, man, I really want to play Division One, like the atmosphere of it and the snow and New York and the Christmas, and I was like, this is feeling good right now. And then I know for a fact once I played Division Two, and I'm like, it's a good game, but I kind of want to play in the snow, man. you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things to where. Well, actually, you could probably find a disc for like less than $10.
Yeah, next
Next
time
time
in the
you're at
store.
GameStop,
Yeah.
next time you're at GameStop or something like that, take a look because you can probably find a disc like super cheap. I know at one point I went in GameStop and like the Division 1 was like $3.
Right, right.
A used copy of the Division 1 was like $3.
Yeah. It's
Um,
crazy.
so so like I hate the way that I am one of those people that looks forward to the one console future
Mhm.
because I would rather have one place that all of my people are. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like whether you're playing with a mouse and keyboard or whether you're playing with a controller, all of us are in one place. And
Well,
that used
that
to be the case with Xbox. That
cuz
used to be the case with Xbox because we all had Xboxes. But like people moved on and like some people are PlayStation first now. I mean I'm an Xbox first person. I'm Xbox first, PC second, definitely PlayStation a distant third. But yeah,
yeah,
I just kind of miss the days where we can just be like, hey, you want to play some Division? Yeah, we're all already on Xbox and we don't need to specify that.
right. But the crossplay thing is helping because when we got on Aliens and like even Nemesis was like, why ain't all games like this? It's kind of
Right?
like
Like it
it's kind of like
it
when you play Gears co-op for the first time. It was like, wait a minute, why ain't all campaigns like this? you know.
it's what you call it. It's PlayStation's fault.
Well, PlayStation's kind of getting there now. I mean, because even that game has crossplay with PlayStation now, right? But
Which one?
yeah,
Why exactly do you keep yawning into the microphone? Like,
sorry.
why don't you just stop? Like, just stop and just finish your yawn, then keep going. Like, I don't understand why you keep yawning into the microphone.
I'm
I don't
tr-
understand this at all.
I'm trying to keep going, but Aliens. I thought
Like
it was
when 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 crossplay was becoming a thing,
and Destiny's crossplay completely with everything. So
yes. Um. Oh, that was the second video. It was the second video. Remember, I said two videos that I thought of you. The second
okay,
video was I was telling you about the Act Man, and then we started talking about Halo. Um, he completely denounced Halo, so he decided to pick up Destiny after not really actively playing the game for like 4 years.
okay,
And What he was saying about the game had me dying laughing. Like he was talking about how just trash the UI is, especially if you haven't kept up with this stuff and you haven't played in a while. Like, all of these things I need to do to level up, but like some of the things that I need to do to level up are not available, so you're just gonna bump me up, but I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I haven't played this since since the normal main campaign was available. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think he said he played the original two DLCs and then he stopped playing after that. So like all of this new stuff, and I don't even think those DLCs are even active anymore, are they?
Um.
The Warmind and the other one, I can't remember what the name was. Because I stopped playing. I stopped
Yeah.
playing
Yeah. Yeah.
Destiny 2. I stopped playing
Oh.
Destiny 2 right before the first DLC came
Oh.
in.
We never talked about that when they had the free weekend or whatever, and you were like, well, what's the point of me playing when, I'm not going to really get that far or whatever. But they had a presser, and I completely forgot to tell you about this, but they had said in the presser they are no longer sunsetting any more campaigns. So if you got into it right now, you would know that what you bought is not going to get sunset anymore. So I think that from Shadowkeep on, it's completely in the game for good.
Okay,
So
that's good
because this
because
because this new one does look very cool, very cyberpunk looking. You know.
yeah, yeah. He was talking about how the game has one of the best art designs, and the game feels good to play. Like trying to figure out what the fuck you're supposed to do is like the worst. And he was talking about like getting in the game and like you turn on the game and there's just like ad after ad after ad after ad after ad. It's just like I don't know what none of this stuff means. And then it was just like, yeah, we're and then like he gets in the game, it's just like more stuff that they're just throwing on top of you. We're giving you some bright dust and we're giving you some of this. You're giving you some of that. I don't know what none of this shit means. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Dude, yeah, it is a far cry from what it was in the beginning. I don't have a lot to good to say about the beginning of Destiny because I was so hyped with the beta, and then when I got the game, I was very, very disappointed because we really couldn't afford to get the game at the time, but we got it because the beta was
I
we
played
liked
a
it.
shit ton of, especially Destiny 2 when it first came out. I played a shit ton of Destiny 2. I actually finished I finished the campaign 2 out of the 3 characters.
Yeah,
I did a Titan playthrough and I did a Warlock playthrough. Of course, Warlock Supremacy, but I did a Titan playthrough also, and I didn't like it. It's very much Warlock Supremacy with your boy, but but yeah, but like when like you were like, let's play Destiny, and it was like, okay, and then I got in, and this is the first time I played after a while. I had no fucking idea what I was doing,
yeah.
and
It's
like
just
so
that those hooks though, because I was like, hey, let's just get into Destiny and do some open world stuff and just play and just talk. And
and
then you
when
were like looking at your stats and all this. I was like, no. You got to worry about that stuff. Let's just play. But you couldn't help it.
and I played a bit, and I played a little bit longer after you and I stopped playing. I played some by myself when it was on Game Pass.
Hmm.
When it was on Game Pass, I still played, and then like right when they got ready to put the new joint out, they took it off Game Pass, and then we found out why they took it off Game Pass because Sony bought them. And so like yeah, all of that stuff kind of happened around the same time. Um, but when they took it off Game Pass, I had no interest in actually playing the game anymore.
Right. But what I was saying with the beginnings of Destiny, like in the beginning, I was like, hey, this game is well, other than the fact that it's a T-rated game, it's kind of kid-friendly because everything is so simple. Like, it was, like, embarrassingly simple. Like, you had green guns, and you had blue guns, and you had purple guns. all the blues and the purples were the same. As of, you know what I mean. If you had the purple ones, you would get you to this power. The only thing that was different is having the purples you got from the raid. That's the only way to get to the max, and that was it. Now, like, all purples aren't created equal anymore. Now it's more like an MMO.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't just say, fuck this shit, we're going to do a monthly fee. If they would have charged like $5 a month or whatever like that, they probably would have had a lot more concurrent players. A lot more people would play. And it'll be like the World of Warcraft thing, but for consoles,
yeah.
Where you just kind of stop playing, but like the money that you're paying every month is still going because most people ain't gonna remember to turn the shit off.
Yeah, and the fact that it just sits differently with people. Like, if you calculate what you're paying for, like right now, if you want to play Destiny next year, and you're going to like buy all the content that you could get for this $100.
$100 fucking dollars.
$100.
It's not even just $100.
Yeah, what I mean,
because if you want the anniversary shit too, that's like $119.
Well, the anniversary stuff is back, but the like, there's microtransaction stuff, but it's cosmetic. But $100, and that don't sit well with a lot of gamers. You know what I mean? They're like, oh man, $100 for the whole year. But then you calculate what people are spending on WoW, and it's a lot more. That's $14.99 a month.
Because WoW was $15 a month, right?
Yeah, $15 a month, and you still had to buy the expansions. But the fact that the WoW people stayed with WoW, but the Halo people were trying out Destiny, so they weren't in that thing of like, I'm gonna get in the service thing.
But also, WoW has something that that Destiny does not. They sunset some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Out of that game. There are people who are running servers of old stuff. You can still find people who have servers with the old stuff in it still. You can go, yeah, I mean, it may be some off-brand shit, but you still have that option available to you.
Yeah. That's how they were talking. They didn't come out and say it, but it sounded like what I was thinking that they would do near the end. It's just do the Call of Duty thing. Where, damn, hold on. Well,
it's going to be a content thing as opposed to just releasing different games.
Well, I mean, no, like when you can install, if you only want the campaign or if you only want the multiplayer, you don't have to install the campaign. So maybe like everything will be available to you. But if you want your Destiny to be 250 gigs, you can install everything. But you don't have to. And I think that could be a thing to where, because I know for the fact that they want it to be like a lived-in game. Spider is here. It wouldn't make sense for Spider to be here and there. So they kind of want it to feel like a now. What they should do is just have a separate part to be like, this is legacy content. This is not now. So you don't get confused. Spider's not really here now. In the real story, this is now. But this optional content, you can play the legacy content. And I think that would sit better with people.
I would love to be able to play the main campaign again.
It was a decent campaign.
Yeah,
the new one, if you like that campaign, the Witch Queen campaign is, I think is better.
Oh, another thing that Ackman said, the difficulty. It's like very easy, nut crunching hard. There is no in between.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a lot of stuff that he was just saying, and it was just like, sounds like Chase. Chase. This sounds like something that Chase would be interested in, and you are interested in Destiny, so. But yeah, I found his video to be very, very interesting.
Barring a word from Fred Rojas, sometimes I hate fuck my way through Destiny. But
I understand that one.
because
Understand that.
I love Destiny, but then I just don't like the same reasons that people like when Blue's like these are the reasons I don't like Destiny or don't want to play Destiny. I was like, those are the same things that I don't like about Destiny too, man. But like, why would I quit now? Like, I've put all this time into it. I want to see this thing to the end, you know, because it's got a pretty decent lore and story.
It's just most of it's not in the game.
It is now. They've got a lot better. They
They
got
got
a
a
lot
lot. They
better.
got a lot better, but like it still isn't great because there's a lot of lore. There's also a lot of stuff that you have no reference for if you weren't playing this whole time. Like when you get in and they start talking about people and their connections to other people that you probably have faced already, you have no frame of reference for any of that. Like I'm like, who the fuck is Oryx? Like you know what I mean? Like shit like that. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there
Like
was,
when there was a mission to where there was a scream, and then the ghost was like, "That scream brings back memories." And if you don't know, like we know, we're like, "That shit's Omnigul," but
but,
you know,
but
you don't know
see,
what that is if you don't.
see, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like there's lore in the game now, but if you haven't played and they sunsetted some old stuff that you don't have access to now, a part of the lore that you are supposed to be consuming right now is in that old stuff
Yeah,
that you can't play anymore. So it's weird. But yeah,
it's weird we're
that's
talking about a game neither one of us has played in the last 2 weeks.
yeah. I have played. I also have played. Of course, I play a lot of 2 Point Campus because I'm recording those for my channel. And I'm having a lot of fun doing that. With with Todd, I'm playing Breakpoint. I'm still playing Breakpoint. We're almost to the end of the main campaign of Breakpoint. Breakpoint is a great game, but great Breakpoint takes a lot of time. I mean, it takes a lot of time because it's not the start this mission and you're just gonna go fuck some shit up like Division is. It's like no, it's like you got to start this mission and then you got to either teleport to a bivouac and helicopter from there, or you got a helicopter from where you are, and the shit could take like 15 minutes in the fucking helicopter. Then you got to get there, and then you pretty much got to take your time with it because if you try to go fast, you're gonna get rushed and they're gonna kill the shit out of you. And it's just like it's a very very slow game compared to like because the two of us we played a lot of
well,
Division
well,
together.
Division is its own thing, but you always say Breakpoint or Wildlands, but I think a lot of people forget that that those are taglines. The main game is Ghost Recon, and Ghost Recon has always been a slower, more strategic type of game, right?
But in my opinion, when it got slower when Wildlands came around. They made because of the open world and all of this kind of stuff. You used to just have a mission and you go into the mission and you do the mission. But like it's a lot
But
slower now to
but
me.
you still had to like be what's the last series, Advanced Warfighter or whatever. I mean, you couldn't
Mm,
just go and Call of Duty that shit. You would die.
Um, you couldn't do it in the multiplayer, but there were a lot of times where you could just brute force your way through some shit.
Maybe.
Unless the mission specifically called for you to be stealthy.
I wouldn't say
There's
stealthy. I mean, I mean, yeah, you have to be strategic when you're stealthy, but not
okay,
all strategy is stealth.
yeah, strategic, like taking everything a little bit slowly, trying not to get not trying not to get seen,
Mm-hmm.
like that type of stuff. But yeah, I really like Breakpoint. But the only thing that Breakpoint doesn't have that I don't like is Breakpoint does not have a GPS system. So there is no use of taking a car anywhere. Absolutely no fucking use of taking a car. Taking a car anywhere is fucking useless in Breakpoint. But in Wildlands, you actually have a GPS. So if you're in a car, you have a way to get where you're going.
Well, if you're in a car, do you have a map to where you look at road signs and stuff?
You have a map. The map is not very good. See, because here's the thing. Breakpoint, like I said earlier, Breakpoint is designed for you to take a lot of elements out of it to make it a harder game. There's an immersion mode, and the you can take off the actual like mission markers. If you take off the mission markers, you have to use the clues that you get. Like, you got to go through this province, you got to go in basically this type of area, but you find that out by doing stuff in other missions in other areas. You have to gather intel and then actually use your map to figure out where the fuck you're supposed to be going. Sometimes you might actually find a picture of the building that you need to infiltrate, so that you need to figure out where that building is, all of that kind of stuff. And like, it's, there is like all of that stuff. You can turn all of that stuff off. You can even turn off the gear score stuff. You can completely turn that shit off. So if you turn off the gear score thing, where your whites, greens, blues, purples, golds, if you turn that completely off, then if I find an MP5 does what an MP fucking 5 is supposed to do. And there's no difference between the MP5 that you have and the MP5 that they have, other than maybe the attachments that you put on it. But an MP5 is an MP5.
Mm-hmm.
An A1 is an A1. A fucking AK-47 is an AK-47. Like, there's no gear score, there's no nothing. It's just, I got a new weapon, and this weapon is gonna do what it do. I've never played like that. I think for my if I play again, my next playthrough, I'm going to play that way.
I
I'm going
kind
to
of
play that
miss.
way.
I kind of miss. I mean, I know that games want to be like Division and Destiny and stuff because they're very popular, but I do kind of miss that. You know what I mean? Like how fun, how
Like,
much more. I mean, we think the Aliens is fun, but you think it would be more fun if it was just closer to Left 4 Dead, further away from Division.
right, and it's but also they have a friend pass. I know it's in Breakpoint. I don't know if it's in Wildlands, but Wildlands is on Game Pass. But we kept having issues with servers with Wildlands, so we ended up switching to Breakpoint, and we haven't gone back to Wildlands yet. We might at some point. Breakpoint has a friend pass, so all you have to do, even if you don't have the game, all you have to do is just download the trial. Trial
Okay.
gives you a few hours to play, but as long as I'm playing with you, you are attached to my friend pass, and I can take up to three people with me for the whole game. As long as I have paid for the game, I can take three people with me for the whole game.
Okay.
I think it's cool. I don't know of any game that has something like that. I know of games that have like a friend pass system where you can get somebody to play with you temporarily, but I don't know of any game where you can play through the whole fucking game like that. And then what the crazy part about it is it made Todd go actually buy the game, because if he bought the game, then he can play the game without me. It's the reason why he bought the game is because he wanted to be able to play the game when I'm not around. So it actually the friend pass actually gave him a reason to buy the game.
Wow.
It was also on sale at the time. Because Ubisoft games go on sale all the fucking time, even on console.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Ubisoft Plus coming to Game Pass? Wasn't that supposed to happen like 2 years ago?
I thought, is it on the Xbox now?
I don't know. I know that they kept saying that it was coming to Game Pass. It wasn't going to be a standalone. It was coming to Game Pass the same way that EA's is on Game Pass Ultimate.
That's weird.
Ubisoft Plus coming to Game Pass. It
I
says
because I always thought that some games were coming to Ubisoft or to Game Pass, but Ubisoft Plus is going to be a separate thing.
it keeps saying that Ubisoft Plus is coming to Game Pass, and that remember we thought it was going to happen at the time that Rainbow Six Extraction game came out because that went day and date on Game Pass.
Right,
We thought
right.
it was going to happen around that time, and it just never happened.
Well, I just looked up Division on Xbox, and all I found was $49.99 on digital, and I clicked pre-owned, and it says currently unavailable. So I just have to go and look at. You would think I'd be able to order it, but I don't know
Are you
why it's
looking at
not.
GameStop?
Yeah, I was But next time I'm in a store, I'm hardly ever in a GameStop, but you know, I'll stop by and take a look because I do want to play the Division One, and I think the easiest thing would be to play on the Xbox.
It is. It is. It is the. It's the easiest way for everyone to get on it without us having to spend hundreds of dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the best way. Yeah. See, when I look, um, yeah, Xbox One. That's the Division Two. The Division Two is $5.99. In the used Division Two is $5.99.
yeah. I couldn't find a used Division One though.
That's weird. Uh, yeah, I don't see one. That's interesting.
That is weird because you would think that like even when you go on the app, that you can order it from any GameStop in the whole freaking country or the world, right?
Yeah, and then I see the first game for PlayStation 4, it's $6.99, but I don't see an Xbox version.
Well, I know you don't want to play on the PlayStation, but I do have the Division One on the PlayStation, and the PlayStation is on the living room TV as well. But
I would have to get PlayStation Plus, which PlayStation Plus was on sale in one of the other Discords. PlayStation Plus, a year of PlayStation Plus was 38 and some change.
yeah, I
So
normally
30,
get it. When I started back getting PlayStation Plus, I got a year. I just get a year at the beginning of the year off of CD keys for like 30 something dollars, and I didn't really think about it, you know.
yeah, I stopped getting PlayStation because I mean I don't use my PlayStation. I don't use my PlayStation enough to justify the expense. That's all it really was for me. I don't use my PlayStation enough to justify the expense, so might as well just leave it alone.
Yeah.
But if it was a situation where everybody was in agreement, like, okay, we're gonna get a PlayStation Plus 3 month card, and we're gonna try to get as much fucking division we can get in 3 months, I'll be like, all right, cool. Because I know I at least got the first game, and I mean I can get the second game for $6.
Well, the second game everybody has it on the Xbox, right?
I don't think Blue does. See, that's the
Oh,
problem.
Yeah.
Blue has it on PC. I think that's the only place he has it on PC. But if you got $6, I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm I'm always down to play Division. So it's just another thing. All right, so I'm gonna talk very quickly about a couple of things that I've been watching.
Okay.
I watched a movie. One day I just wanted to watch something that I didn't have to use my brain a lot for. So I turned on Netflix and I watched The Adam Project.
Okay. I don't even know what that
Kind of like
is.
I kind of like the movie. Okay, it's about Ryan Reynolds is a is from the future. There's something going wrong in the future, so he time travels back to well he tries to time travel back to 2018 because apparently he thinks something happened in 2018 that changed his timeline. So he tries to go back to 2018, something happens and he ends up in, I don't know if it's 21 or 22, and he is with his 12-year-old self, who his 12-year-old self was a fucking nerdy ass nerd with a smart fucking mouth that used to get beat up all the time. And it's cool. I think the kid that they got to play him, he didn't really look like him, but
Well,
he got the smart mouth thing down.
are
Like
they
the Ryan Reynolds thing, this kid pulled the fuck off. Like, absolutely pulled that off. What were you about to say?
I was about to say that did are they trying to tell us that Ryan Reynolds was 12 in 2018?
Oh, his character. No, his no, no, no. Remember, he went to try to go back to 2018. He's from the future. His character. He tried to go back to 2018, but he
Oh,
landed in 22.
the so the the current day is in the future. Well, I mean, the current day of that movie is not 2022, right?
No, but he's only in the future briefly.
Well, I'm
when
just
when it when it starts, he stole a ship and he is trying to time travel back to 2018. The shit gets fucked up and he lands in 2022, and he is at his house with his 12-year-old self.
okay. Well, I was just trying to like make sure I got it that it wasn't 2022 and they were going back to 2018. It was like in the future and then they were going back to 2018. Okay.
He was going for 2018, but he landed in 22.
Okay.
It's a little bit confusing to try to tell somebody, but when you're watching it, you're like, oh, okay, get it. Something went wrong, and he didn't land in the same place, and he didn't land in the place where he wanted to. But he's like some sort of like it's like some sort of like agency or something like that in the future. There's a lot of future tech type stuff, and it's a cool little movie. Like, and that little boy did a great job. As that. And then also I watched I watched Andor, digging it so far. It is very unlike Star Wars so far. It's in the Star Wars world, and of course Andor was in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And so it's supposed to be a two-season story, and it's supposed to lead us up to Rogue One. But so far, it's very is a lot more serious than most Star Wars, and they actually dropped a cuss word in Star Wars. Dude straight up says, "Is it shit?" I think he says shit in in Star Wars, in the Star Wars show. So I really like that. And then The Handmaid's Tale started back, so I started watching The Handmaid's Tale, and it's like The Handmaid's Tale is like a guilty pleasure for me. I know a lot of people like clocked out pretty early on The Handmaid's Tale. It's like the whole setup of Gilead is like a Republican's wet dream. But just find the story to be compelling enough to just keep me watching because I want to find out what happens next for these characters. So the new season started. There's 3 episodes out, and it's been pretty fucking good so far in season 5. Pretty stinking good.
Cool.
So, so I watched that. Oh, and then of course She-Hulk, which is still going on. A lot of people are hating, but I am enjoying She-Hulk so far.
Well, a lot of people, no matter what it is, are going to try to hate on something, you know?
I love how She-Hulk is actually taking those people to task. The internet trolls are actually a part of the show.
Right.
'Cause every time they get on the internet and stuff like that, you see all of this stuff. Like like the last episode. I mean, a little bit of a spoiler, but not really. They go on a website of like it's like a 4chan type website of people who hate She-Hulk. Like they're like reading through stuff, and it's like fucking neckbeard central for and dude bro neckbeard incel central for and they're all talking about She-Hulk. It's very interesting how they integrated them into the show. Like those people who would be saying this stuff on the internet anyway are actually a part of the show.
Right, right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because they knew in advance what these people would be saying. So they were like, we're not even.
Yeah, we
trying
need to get
pretend.
back to our Marvels. We, like I said, we hadn't. The last thing we watched was Loki, so the next thing would be Black, um,
Widow?
Black Widow, but we
Black Widow does not happen in any chronological time. It
yeah
doesn't
that's
tie to anything. You can watch that completely independent of your Marvel whoop de fucking do because it happens.
yeah that's what we
happen-
know. We were just still gonna watch it, but then Amber wasn't interested in it, and I was like, well, let's just watch it because so I was like, would you like it if we just skipped it and went straight into Shang-Chi? And she was like, yes. So I think we're going to start that. But she's been on, when she saw me watching Buffy, she got onto a Buffy thing, so now she's watching Buffy. So
I am going to say this, and it is the one thing that I can say about Black Widow.
okay,
Elena Belova's character is the absolute best thing about that movie. And like the way that she makes fun of Black Widow is hilarious. She is so funny, but you need that to understand her when she shows up in what you call it? That character shows up in
I don't know when she shows up in. Oh, the Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. There we go. I could not think of his name. I kept
Oh,
pulling
I
up
saw.
an imaginary bow
I
and
saw
arrow.
Hawkeye. With Jeremy Renner or whatever. I saw him in Angel. He was like a bad guy or something.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that just played like one-off characters and like all kinds of stuff in Buffy. Like if you watch a lot of stuff, you'll see a lot of people that just played in like one episode of
And
Buffy and called it a day.
it's the same with X-Files too, dude.
I never really watched X-Files, but we've had this discussion. I've had this discussion with Amber, so we're not gonna go there.
Yeah, but
Because we're not gonna have this conversation out loud because then she's gonna start sending me shit on fucking Facebook again.
it's just funny. You say the same thing, but I'm like, you could say the same thing about you liking Buffy. So So
I just it's just the X Files is not a show I've ever been interested in.
yeah, I think if you do like Buffy, you would probably like it if you actually. It's just there's so much. I mean, even if you watch Buffy and Angel, it's like that's still a lot too, right? But it's just
Problem with Buffy and Angel is it's so 90s. Watching it like now, if you've never watched it before, it is very 90s,
yeah.
especially in the beginning.
Yeah,
It's
you're
super
like,
90s.
what the fuck is Willow wearing?
Exactly.
But let's go ahead and end this because I think we got everything, and I gotta take a shit in a little bit, so
Okay.
let's go
Uh,
ahead.
well, thank you everybody for checking us out. We do appreciate you. Um, Follow us on the Geeks Gone Raw Universe YouTube channel. So if you're listening to this on the podcast form, you can actually see us record this exact same show. But also, there is a YouTube version of the edited podcast version on that same channel. Also there, you can stop by and you can check our reactions to things. Reactions are seemingly going well. We're getting close to 200 subscribers, which I think is cool because we're doing everything our way, and we're really having fun with the reactions, and we recorded a lot, so we don't have to record anything really until November. Then check out Chase. Chase is playing Fear on his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Crystal Chase?
Yep.
Chase
Crucial
is
Ch-
playing Fear on his. So he has videos of that. I'm playing 2 Point Campus on mine, Scarfinger Hood Rich, and somebody asked me about the Hood Rich part, but I'll talk about that later. It was an inside joke that never got changed later. Yeah, so just check us out at all of the different places. If you want to donate to the show, you can do so through like Patreon and other weird things. And I think we got it. So thank y'all again, and we'll be back with some more content for you very shortly. Or if you watch the reactions, real shortly. So to the Warriors, yo.
Later.